And the province is going to spend nearly $21 billion to build 4 small modular reactors in Bowmanville. So construction on the first modular reactor at the Darlington nuclear generating station, it's expected to begin this year and should be completed by 2030. This is part of a push from Energy Minister Stephen Lecce to rely even more on nuclear power to meet the province's growing electricity demands. The independent electricity system operator has said that electricity demand is expected to increase by 75% by 2050. And for more on this, we're joined live in studio by Energy and Mines Minister Stephen Lecce. Minister Lecce, thanks a lot for joining us. So we're talking about nuclear energy. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is an exciting day for Canada. We're hearing a lot of leaders say nation-building projects, things that actually create jobs, that give us a pathway to economic self-reliance. This announcement today that we're actually giving the green light to start construction on the G7, like the industrialized world's first small modular reactor. It's happening right here at Darlington in Durham in this country. And that creates 18,000 jobs. It puts us on the map as a nuclear player, and it's going to produce power for over 1 million Canadians as soon as, yes, 2030.
And also, Minister, I have to ask you, about input, consideration from First Nations. This is something that we also heard Premier Ford say this needs to be a priority.
Absolutely agree. I mean, the William Treaty First Nation has been engaged in this. Any project we're proceeding on, when it comes to net new energy, is going to be done in partnership. We need 75% more power. That's like 4.5 cities of Toronto we're going to add to the grid. If we want to deliver that affordable, reliable, clean power, we need to do it in partnership. And that's why it was our government that said anytime we build an energy project, we have to get the municipal consent or municipal support resolution in place. We want to let communities be in the driver's seat so we can build an energy future that's clean and affordable.
Okay, so also, Minister Lecce, I do have to read this statement. This is from nonprofit organization Swim, Drink, Fish. The chosen site is wholly inappropriate for a nuclear plant. It is too small to fit 4 new reactors with cooling towers. Even if only 2 reactors are built, OPG will need to fill in the lake to enlarge the property. The site is in the midst of a growing population center, close to a rail line and busy Highway 401, and on the shore of the drinking water for 9 million people. What's your reaction to that?
Look, I think, this type of alarmism, when we have some of the safest policies that have lasted 60 years of nuclear in Ontario, is unhelpful. I mean, in fact, the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission, whose singular mandate is safety, has given the authorization to build this first unit. And we're proud of this because it's going to displace upwards of 600,000 vehicles from the road because, as you know, nuclear is non-emitting, it's clean, it's reliable. And we looked at the alternative, Bakari. And if we did wind or solar, we would need the land mass, 2,400 square kilometers. That's 1/3 of the city of Toronto in land we would need. The independent electricity systems operator who you cited said that would cost more, upwards of 25% more. So if we want to build a productive, competitive economy to take on Trump and be self-reliant, we need to have more baseload affordable power, and that's what we're doing today.
And speaking of taking on Trump, what's in our arsenal in terms of combating these tariffs? Fighting back with energy, cutting off energy. Is that still in our war chest? What's going on?
The best thing we can do is level up as Canadians and be one strong federation, not 13 subnational provinces that sort of coexist. So the fact that the first bill that our premier introduced is to eliminate all interprovincial trade barriers adds the equivalent of $20 billion to our economy. The second thing we're doing is we're leaning into net new nuclear. This project, like these 4 SMRs, will generate enough jobs for 18,000 Canadians. $500 million. Everything we build, 80% of the spend of every SMR made in Ontario components. I mean, honestly, this is such an amazing story for our country. We're putting people to work. We're using Canadian businesses to build them, and we're exporting them around the world, from Poland all the way to Tennessee Valley. So I just want to say, to Canadians who are looking for affordable energy solutions, we have one. We're leaning in. We're leading the world, and we're doing it right here in Ontario.
And Minister Lecce, final thoughts.
Look, I think if we want to compete with President Trump, if we want to be self-reliant and economically sovereign, then I think we need to be investing in big picture projects. We got to do the big things. We're leading the largest nuclear generator on Earth in Port Hope. We're expanding hydroelectric power in the north. We're doing an all-the-above approach, from critical minerals to nuclear power, so that we harness the resource potential of Canada, and that we, Canadians, like this amazing country with the highest environmental and labor and human rights laws, that we prevail and compete against China, who is cornering the market. They're building a coal plant a week. We cannot let them succeed, and that's the choice. It's fairly binary. It's like two roads for us. Either we step up or they dominate. And I think it's in our long-term economic and security interests that we lead the world. Canada is an amazing nation, and we need to flex that muscle, that we've got the ingenuity, the technology, and the smartest people on earth, the best workers, to lead the way forward.
Okay, Minister of Energy and Mines, Stephen Lecce, thank you for your time.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate it.